Good evening, everybody. System Chalk here with the 69th episode of House of Light, our first run through YouTube, playing as the Archaeologist, the Sanskar Journal. I am the librarian of Hush House, and this journal will record what arose from my crime and my curse. The Archaeologist's dearest wish when they came to the house was to record a history where their crime could be forgiven or redefined, but you can complete the game by recording any history. You might wish to begin your studies with a Skolakosophy wisdom. Memories the Archaeologist. I opened a tomb and found too late that it was a prison. The plague that I released is now my shadow, or perhaps I am its reflection. It is too late to set matters right, but it is never too late to protect the future from the past. In Hush House I can do no harm. Perhaps I can even make amends. So we're just finishing off the day today. I decided to put one of my heart towards digging up some vegetables. We probably could have done that a little bit later. But we'll be fine. So essentially, I need to make the materials with which I will I'll host the salon, and I'm sort of coming up short on a few. But that's fine. We were able to get another level for furs and feathers, which will help us in the long run. We're also going to get another room in a little bit. There we go. The sustenance has boosted their aspects appropriately. So we'll do this right away. We'll take care of the Weird Curse Spire. 7 years ago, someone pronounced a curse here in the name of the sun and its many selves. This place was not the curse's target, nor was I, but its poison fills the air around me. I should not enter here until it's cleansed. All right, so here's the furs and feathers. I'll trade that off with Auroral Contemplations. And Furs and Feathers is a Bosk and Nyctodromy skill. So if I had a firm decision in terms of what I was using for Bosk, I could start leveling up Furs and Feathers. But I haven't, in fact. I don't believe I've committed anything to Bosk yet. Yeah. So, I mean, another health wouldn't be unwelcome. I don't know. I'll have a think about it. What I may wind up doing. Clearly, we have some wriggle room as far as the various books are concerned right now. But I'm thinking what I might want to do in the near future is take a look at some of the skills that I can get just by reading the various texts. So for instance, let's say I had something that would get me 4 lessons of furs and feathers. That might be an indicator that I want to take one of the other ones that doesn't have as many lessons and commit that to Bosk, first, just because that requires less effort, and then that will free up the Bosk to start going up those other levels. Excuse me. I don't know. There's no one right way of doing it, and I'm not really that. I'm not as pinned down as I used to be, so I don't think I'll take advantage of that quite yet. But I think that's just going to be another option that I have in sort of the medium term to make a little bit of progress through the Tree of Wisdoms if I'm feeling I need a bit more. Because, of course, the more I go through the Tree of Wisdoms, the more elements of the soul I have, and then I can potentially use those to level them up. Obviously, that would be once I'm at a point where I feel like I can handle the salons with the existing elements of the soul that I have. But again, all of this is sort of down the road kind of thinking. We don't need to make any hard decisions today. Okay, better now. Do I want to... Yes, I think I'm going to use the shaft to get an egg from the chickens. Time with the beastie. Offer this beast my company. Who knows? Perhaps it will offer something in return. There's the metal, so because I'm not going to have enough time to do that twice, I will use this to catalog another book, baronial one. This book was probably written around the time of Hush House's baronial period, roughly the 1500s to 1700s. If I examine it, I can learn more about what knowledge it might contain. So one small risk about a later Salon is that I run out of time for the skills, although I don't think that's as big of a problem here. Okay, I did get the dripping, so that's good. I've kind of got enough of the supplemental work taken care of that I think as long as we're not too late hosting the Salon, we should still be able to level everything up. Carrots, tomatoes, marrows, and blessed onions, all the unsung heroes of the stew pot. It's a little too late for me to try and restore anything at the Sweet Bone, so we'll just let the rest of the day play out. And I'll try and make sure that my priorities are correct for... So tomorrow, probably the big one that I'll focus on is the remaining dishes. Following that, 108, Ava de Wolf discourses on the fifth history, and particularly on those who are said to have passed over from it, the great hooded princes, the Knocklong, who ascended under the mother of ants, but now, so Ava claims, honor the horned axe. Now that's a Pentiments and Precursors one, but of course we've already leveled up Pentiments and Precursors. So one option I have would be to level up Stone Stories, which would give me additional scale and nectar. Alternatively, I can use that to bring either Wolf Stories to 2. It would be Wolf Stories... Wolf Stories... Let's just... Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't have as many opportunities as I thought. But I do feel that that would be a worthwhile one for me to do. Maybe not, you know, right away. We'll see where I'm sitting for the day's priorities, but that's a pretty straightforward one to sort of get an easy win out of. So I'm thinking probably tomorrow I'll try to get the extra edicts marsh. Oof. That actually might be a little hard, seeing as I'm going to want to level that up to level 5. We'll see. Okay. The Spire. Here, Hendrik de Wolf met in secret with King Henry, once the Bronze King, now Old Copper-Nose, for the great debasement had ended the supremacy of the Leashed Flame, and Henry's heirs were no more than human. There's a story that Hendrik's son Thomas listened from the rafters, that 3 times he heard Henry ask his father to break a certain promise in the matter of Carriese beyond the wave, and the 3rd time the father did not refuse the king. This, says the story, is why Thomas never liked to make a promise thereafter for fear of breaking it. Okay. So we have got Evening Isles coffee, a pot of that. Houndsgull, books written in Houndsgull, are more likely to return to their owner or to one whom they have been legitimately sold. An Ink of Containment. And Brian Levinson, this bust is cast from aluminum, oxidized to gray. So, in this room, the accursed of the Great War gathered to recuperate, those who had suffered something no more horrible but somewhat more mysterious than the war's usual wounds to body and spirit. An eruption of worms, perhaps, or the risks at the military end of the Suppression Bureau activities. Among them were minor luminaries of the invisible world, Christopher Alopoli, Zachary Wakefield, Harvey Haddington, but not Brian Levinson, who had been 9th librarian, and under whose tenure the infirmary had flourished. He enlisted, he served for a time, as a medical officer on the Western Front. His body was never found. Niche with a plaque, who saw his fate and did not shirk it. Brian Levinson, this bust is cast from aluminum, oxidized to gray. So no books, but we've now opened up sort of the main part of Hush House now, which is a nice little milestone to hit. Okay. So let's divide the attention for tomorrow. So let's say we'll use the core. I'm going to use the core to make the game chips. A core to make the pale marrow. We'll use a whisk to make the Eigengrau. I guess I'll use one Arab to make the fish. Okay, nope, we're good. So these are these ones are going to be free for whatever I want to do. I might use the health to now it's just a meal would be welcome. Or I use the health to make the to get the vegetables. Actually, here's an interesting thought. So let's just play around with the idea that I want to level up Edict's Martial. So I'm going to read the Leonine Tantra. I need to get 8 edge. So we take 4 for Edict's Martial. We take 1 for the Arab, which we're going to read with. So that's 5. Oh, sorry. Edict's Martial. So we have 4 with Edict's Martial. 5 with the Arab we're going to use. 7 with the contradiction. So that would mean we need to use one of the elements of the soul. Let's say we'll use the Shapt for that. One problem with this is oh no, the Trist will be what I use to level it up. Okay, so we'll set aside the Trist, one of the Shapt. So essentially, this is what I have to catalog books, to talk with the chickens, to earn money, etc., etc. Yeah, I'll make the game chips first, I think. And then I also need to serve the teas and such, but I think I'll have a pretty good idea about whether I have what I need before the end of the day. So, some basics. Uh-oh. Okay, no, we're good. Distill a kind of possibility. Quenchings and quellings with Prentice level Winter creates Eigengrau. Next up, we're going to use the core to make the game chips. Make game chips. A dish with edge. I'll just double check. Yeah, the dripping is essential. Dish with edge, forge, heart, and knock. I will catalog a book, catalog a Nocturnal Period book. This book was probably written around the time of Hush House's Nocturnal Period, after the turn of the century. If I examine it, I can learn more about what knowledge it might contain. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got one more element of the soul I can play around with. So let's use the Faust to generate the contradiction. Oh. Shucks. Okay, so this is for the stuffed marrow. Sorry, I'm losing it. Yeah, okay. Stuffed marrow, the pilchards, leonine tantra. This one's technically free, and this I just freed up. And nothing, I mean, as always, actually we do have an orchard keeper, so I should probably think about the possibilities here. I hate that I'm doing this, but let me just take a quick second. So, so 2 nectar, rain, 2 heart, 1 knife, 2, so that's 2, 4, 5, 7. Dandelion wine would probably give us another 2 nectar, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Okay, so now that I'm looking at that, we've got a wheeled-filled spring, which is 10. Okay, so yeah, to my view, we should be hiring the, we should definitely be hiring the orchard keeper. And an offer from Oriflammes. Oriflammes, established 1776, sent signed sciences. Dear librarian, we would like to offer you this opportunity to purchase The Queens of the Rivers, a surreal contemporary play by the enigmatic Monica Medina, in which the Queens of the Rivers are murdered one by one. So yes, we'll buy that, if only I can put the money in place. So again, I'm doing too much on a given day, but one thing I'll do is pour out the water. I'm a little late to be taking full advantage of it, but I don't think we should give up for that reason. All right, recordings of the Altabin Abyss. We don't have Deep Mandiac, so that doesn't quite help. I think we can probably just use this to restore it. I'm only going to need something... Actually, this works for a few reasons. Pour it out. So I can either use this to generate a memory, or I can use it to level up Edict's Martial. So what I'll do is I'll hire the orchard keeper, and then I'll cycle through the earnings again. Okay, the game chips. So I believe it was the marrow next. Bake a pale stuffed marrow. So in Brandkrug, they take their marrows seriously. This is a marrow redolent of sorrow. And Honey the Comprehensive Guide. Harvey Haddington, pilot, polymath, confectioner, writes with great enthusiasm about the marvelous work of the bee. Haddington insists that all the primary aspects, nectar, scale, heart, lantern, moth, grail, are possessed by bees and expressed in honey. Clearly, he points out, there are only 6 primary aspects, as a honeycomb has only 6 angles. Yugol ink is prepared with these techniques, but so is Skinshuck mead, and only Skinshuck requires honey. Just as any beverage or foodstuff can be improved with the addition of honey, so any garden is improved with the presence of bees, even those bloody blumberendi. Okay, so take the Arab, the contradiction, edicts martial. Sort of pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps with that one. I'll use the Kukurbit Barrette, I think. Finally, the Leonine Tantra. Right, the surface of the substance is difficult to resolve, almost as if it wasn't there at all. As I used to say in my youth, the day is done and so am I, but I've earned my pay. So here we will hire the orchard keeper. In autumn, the orchard keepers come to sell their wares at Brandkrug. A shilling will buy one's help. And what I think I'll do here, I'm going to restore the core instead of the shaft, and that's just simply because the core is slightly more useful to me right now. In a pinch, I can use it to do some cooking or possibly... or we can't use it in the garden, but we could use basically the Arab, the core, and the health are all ones that wind up giving me a little bit of an edge for certain things. So let's start with the health. I'm ready to lend my limbs, boosts heart, scale, and nectar. Oh, I didn't realize the marrows actually gave 2 nectar. That may change my calculation a little bit. They all do, so yeah, what I should maybe do is just pull up some more sacks of vegetables and just open them up for the marrows. We'll work alongside each other. Okay, now we'll use the rain. Talk about the weather, more useful than one might expect, especially in Britain. At this point, I should probably pour out the dandelion wine. Pour out. Pour it out. Alright, the stuffed pale marrow. This was a marrow redolent of sorrow. Now it's a dish to comfort the damned. And finally, we take the Arab, the pilchards, the Eigengrau, pickled pilchards, a dish with edge, heart, moon, and scale. Although I'm wondering if poaching mackerel... I don't know. I'll take a look at that later. Okay. The Leonine Tantra. In the most notorious translation of the Leonine Tantra, Ashley Phillips is listed as the translator, but their existence is explicitly denied in the prologue. This confusion is characteristic of books which mention the Great Hooded Princes. The Tantra describes elliptically the Great Hooded Princes and the multitudinous ways in which they influenced wars against foreign invaders of the land of the Great River, although in a sense they were also invaders. Lions can be created, not as children are created, nor as words are created, but as weapons are created. The Great Hooded Princes learnt to create lions from their spyings on the affairs of the hours, and not all lions now serve the Golden General. So this got us a fear. What I think I'll do here is I'll just put this back in one of the cubbies. I don't even care which one, just get in there. Excuse me. God, that was silly of me. So, what I failed to pay attention to the mastery. Oh, well. How did I not notice that before? I should take a minute just to double check the VOD on that. Yeah, it feels a little funny that the contradiction gets consumed doing that. Anyways, obviously not quite how I planned for the day to go. Let's see what we can do to restore the effort. So probably Crowcross Sands makes a little more sense. The priorities that I have right now are I want to make sure that the Orchard Keeper has what they need. I want to make sure that I basically get whatever vegetables I can on time. Let's actually, before I go any further, let's take care of the last couple steps of the salon, and that's preparing the beverages. So we've got water for Zachary. I am going to need the second flush of Sam. I know we've got some up here, but I don't think I have a spare one kicking around right now. I used to. So, use one of those. I can use the shaft for that in this case. Brew over the fire, bring the water to the boil, permit the potential here to express itself. Now for Grail, it's Coquille and Corso. We might as well just use the drinking cocoa. Bring water to the boil, permit the potential here to express itself. And then finally, Fraser wants his scale. So we have the Domain Reveline, we have Schloss Jannings. Roskragen doesn't do the trick. I wanted to take a minute here and see what kind of scale beverages I have. Wasn't thinking about the Dawn Lion coffee. And that'll do the trick. Okay, we'll give them their own table. Better now. Okay, so we'll still cycle the core. Again, it's a bit of a weird day just because I messed up the Leonine Tantra. But I'll at least get the oh, nope, sorry, I've already cataloged all the books. Okay. Let's talk with the Orchard Keeper about the... Oh, there we go. Alright, lend my assistants something to help increasing their abilities. Okay, so just so I can double check, we've got the Orchard Keeper with 2. We've got the Rain, which should be 4. The heart, which should be 5. The knife, which is 7. The dandelion wine. I think probably in this case I should be using either the grapes or the sea blessed pears. I don't see any advantage to going one over. So grapes are a little bit easier to restore. And then from there, we'll try and use as many of these elements of the soul to either bring up... Oh, shame on me. Let's see if I can recover the health. I'm hoping this gives me enough time to garden, but I'm kind of doubting it. A quick nap in a warm bed with something comforting to drink while the winds chase the clouds and the clouds chase the sun. Demon scent both rise. It's ready. All right, so we'll serve some of that. We'll serve 2 of these, so this will go away immediately. I'm trying to decide if I want to go to Crowcross Sands tonight or not. So I've got 1, 2. Yeah, I think I have a few more elements of the soul than I know what to do with today. I think I'm quite ready to go on the moor yet. Okay, and just double checking, so yes, we just need 10. So, not even the sea blessed pears, let's just make it the grapes. Offer something to eat. I can offer my assistants something to eat. This will increase their aspects. It's also just friendly. Okay, so this is Daymare's drink. Right, that wound up on the bridge because I didn't have a home for it yet. Okay, so Corso. Okay, so Salon's ready to go. I should actually write out the invitations at this point. Now I just need to post it. Just trying to think who I can invite with these. Well, the knock should be easy, so. I have enough here to craft a letter inviting Daymare to Brandkrug. Coquille and Corso. Corso wants lantern. Okay, and finally the pickled pilchards. Last of the necessary dishes. So, let's figure out. I think I'm gonna go to the. Yeah, we'll get some vegetables first. Now I just need to post it. I don't think either of these are enough for... Or actually, yeah, well, you know what? We don't need to get clever about this. As I used to say in my youth, the day is done and so am I, but I've earned my pay. Okay. I thought I was at the end of it, but I forgot that I need to serve the wine. I can offer my assistants something to drink. This will increase their aspects. They'll also be glad of the refreshment. So I think realistically, I get like 1 round with the chickens. And we've got 37 seconds left for... Well, yeah, we should be able to do some gardening, at least. Okay, and the Queens of the Rivers. This is definitely one that's within my capability of reading. Not so obvious that I want to read it right now, though. Okay. Again, I'm all over the map in terms of getting the salon set up, but... So we've got Zachary, Daymare, Coquille. Corso is next, so we'll invite... Using Geeks of Revelation. And then Fraser's the last. I'm also going to confess I don't remember what happened to my confounding parable. Maybe I didn't sleep on it. All right, so we don't have what I would have done in under other circumstances. I would have used the Orchard Keeper to generate some memories. Don't have any that I really need from them right now. So let's get to work on the wheel-filled spring. The pool here is filled with rusting and rotting wheels. Was this some attempt to block it, or were the wheels thrown down the well above as offerings? In either case, it'll need to be cleaned out, and suitable offerings made to appease the powers to whom this place is holy. And I think I'll leave it there, because I'm already 10 minutes over. So, Fraser's the last invitation that I need to write. I need to kind of figure out what I'm doing with the last of my... So we'll talk with Tuppence to get the... I guess we'll use the metal there. Actually, that's a pretty straightforward one for me to figure out, so we can definitely use the fet at the moor. I think, yeah, we should be able to do at least one more tryst, and then I'll just feed the chicken for the last one. Less clear. No, we'll even be able to do some gardening. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry for the slightly weirder setup for today, but we got through. We're going to be able to get the salon done. And I'm going to probably be able to figure out a few commitments, or at the very least narrow down where we're heading on the Tree of Wisdoms. But of course, that will happen in tomorrow's episode. Thank you for watching. Take care. See you in the next one.